All right, so today I'm going to talk about my MS patient. So for the patient education, I chose to focus on fatigue because this patient fatigues easily, and energy conservation strategies would be helpful for this patient. She gets really fatigued too after she experiences OH in the morning, so I thought this was especially important to cover with this patient. And then how does the patient education relate to this patient's condition and current phase of recovery? Again, she experiences OH, especially when she's fatigued, and she can become fatigued easily. Also, her form of MS is relapsing remitting. So when she's having a relapse, that can make the symptoms even worse and make the fatigue even stronger. So I definitely want to make sure she has some strategies, especially when that happens. The data tools I used a tug test because I wanted to assess her mobility, and one of her short-term goals is to ambulate independently and safely with an appropriate assistive device. So I wanted to get a baseline for where she is without an assistive device, and then later on, when we added an assistive device, be able to compare and see the results. My other test I did was the optic nerve cranial nerve 2 test. Because I wanted to see if her vision was impaired. Visual problems are very common with MS patients, and I wanted to make sure that she would be able to, see the objects. For example, the box that we were doing the step-ups on, I want to make sure she can see that before she starts stepping up on it. And also that she has impaired balance, so I wanted to make sure it wasn't vision that was contributing to that, since it's the vestibular, somatosensory, and visual system that all contribute to our balance. And these tools helped me form my treatment plan because the tug test was able to show me the patient's mobility and also how she sits to stand, because one of her main goals for PT is being able to get up out of a chair. And the optic nerve, it was, again, to make sure that she was able to see the objects in front of her and see if this was part of what could be impairing her balance. My interventions I did were sit to stands. I did 2 sets of 5. I did those because one of her main goals is to get up out of a chair. And then I also did step-ups with 2-pound ankle weights on each leg, and I did a set of 10 on each leg. And I did that because one of her main goals is to work on getting up stairs, and she has difficulty with that at home. And then I added in the ankle weights in order to get a little bit of strengthening in there, since one of the goals is functional strength training, and going up a step basically simulates going up a stair. And then with the ankle weights, we have a little bit of strength in there as well.